So straightforward, make it super easy for you in this grudge match. The winner is into day number 2 of competition. They've got some more battling to do here in day number 1 with regards to earning a bye. But you win and you get in, and we're seeing you tomorrow. You'll be one of the 12 players that makes it through to tomorrow's competition. Donegan's going to start things off with a Misty Rainforest. And that is a breeding pool. We'll see where Dylan wants to start this game. Probably Mana Accelerant of some sort. And it'll be a Noble Hierarch, one of the best Mana Accelerants of all time. So we head back over to Zach Allen. See if he can keep up with the mana stuff. That's a Rising Canopy and a Bird of Paradise, so he can keep up. Zach, a player who loves his foils, loves making his decks look pretty as we head back over to Dylan Donegan. Or you do not come to the choice of Devoted Devastation lightly if you're Team Lotus Box. Especially with the work they did with Simic Urza. Here's Horizon Canopy. We'll take a call. But the ability to play a deck like this, it has so many tutors and so many ways to find the cards that you're looking for, like starting things off with a Giver of Runes, is what I think is pretty appealing to this strategy.
Yeah, and Donegan trying to do his best here to get out in front of Oko a little bit. If Allen has it this turn, it still might be pretty good, but if he's able to avoid it, then Giver of Ruins should shut down a lot of Allen's interaction.
Alright, there is Stoneforge Mystic. And there's Sword of Feast and Famine, so, well, that was during your heyday, I would say, old Sword of Feast and Famine during those Callblade days. You know what it's like if you get hit by that thing.
It's over. One shot.
Well, I know that your red deck didn't let that happen off.
Never.
Yeah.
It never happened. But I assume it's game over.
Never.
I mean, I wouldn't know personally.
Yes, but it's a safe assumption, I think. There's an Oko. Not a bad place to go. A very, very powerful Planeswalker. Now, for my money, might be the most powerful Planeswalker of all time. It's tough to say.
Yeah. You get into some spots where it's not really what the game is about, and it looks out of place in a way that, let's say, just the Mind Sculptor or Liliana the Veil doesn't really ever do. Mm-hmm. But it's just so good all the time. Like in most normal games, it's so good. It is, I think, probably the most prevalent Planeswalker in high-powered formats at this point.
I can agree with
Way
that.
more than Jace the Mind Sculptor or Liliana the Veil. Or
Didn't see that coming. I've taken some Oko beats. A snow-covered island there. Off of the Misty Rainforest for Zach Allen. Zach Allen, a member of Team RIW. Have to imagine that him and his comrades helped him get ready for this tournament. I'm thinking of you, Kyle Bogmies. But Kyle's a big fan of Devoted Devastation. Maybe Zach isn't. And he'll just pass the turn back, so. We're going to go over to Dylan Donegan now.
Missed a land drop the previous turn. A lot of Allen's interaction of the battlefield is not very good in the face of Giver of Runes, but it's likely Donegan's going to have to really play into something like Spell Queller here. That is the major drawback about no longer having access to Collected Company. You just play on your own turn a lot, and spots like this where you get a little bit behind on the battlefield, a little bit behind on mana, there's not an elegant way to try to dance around it.
So now it's Dylan's turn to try to figure out what the best way to move forward is. Got Giver of Runes set up, has Oko on the battlefield. Dylan, many moons ago, back in 2014, played in our first Players' Championship. And it looks like he's going to be prompted to make a play now by our head judge, Jarrett Silva. You can't sit there and think forever there, kiddo.
And this is still not a play.
He's grabbed his food token.
There we go.
There you go.
A game action.
Hallowed Fountain untapped. It's funny, you and I have been covering Modern for quite a while here, and we think of how fast the format was at many stages, as there's a Shall I, Voice of Plenty, and this is a much different format now. These games are grindy. And only the grindy games revolve around cards like Lily on the Veil and Thoughtseize. No longer. It's much different now. Path to Exile wants to go after Giver of Runes. Now remember, Giver of Runes cannot protect itself. So the path is going to resolve. And of course you have to cast that now, because if Shall I is on the battlefield with Giver of Runes, you're in the lock. Yeah. So there's a basic forest, and a pretty one at that. Now Shall I is on the battlefield. So you and a lot of your stuff has hexproof, but Shall I does not. You can see Dylan's hand. He has Vizier in hand. And he has Aladamri's Call to search for, of course, anything.
And you can see how complicated that turn was, because Donegan's kind of got all the pieces of the puzzle there, but has to be really worried about Spell Queller. I think he chose wisely of just try to use all your mana this turn, and play the card with the highest ceiling, because somehow the time Alan's hand is going to have neither Spell Queller nor Path, and you don't win the game on the spot, but you've locked up a lot of problems.
Sword of Feast and Famine is going to roll on in through the Stoneforge Mystic. Now we head back over to Zach. Zach, of course, being here implies that he's had a really nice year on the SCG Tour, and he certainly has. There is a Teferi. That's going to bounce Shall I. And that means that Zach has the ability to suit up a Stoneforge Mystic.
Big turn coming here.
Yeah, with a sword. And get in some damage. And he says, I'll attack you, not your Oko. Alright. So Dylan's going to have to discard, and Zach gets to untap all 4 of those lands. Donegan's going to fall down to 9. So there's your untap. And Dylan's got some discarding to do. He'll discard the Vizier. I think that's a good choice. It's not really about that this game anymore.
Yeah, if he discards any piece, he's away from being able to do the combo anyway. So you might we'll keep your most individually powerful cards.
Noble Hierarch post-combat with 3 mana available to still at least bluff Spell Queller. Now, do keep in mind that Zach does have a Teferi Time Raveler on the battlefield, so Dylan Donegan's going to have to play at Sorcery Speed until that Planeswalker leaves the battlefield. And now what does Donegan do? Again, he's got E-Call in hand, Shall I, and he's got Oko on the battlefield. He can go towards Shall I right now, and he will. Okay.
I mean, I would want to send the send the elk at Teferi and just see what's going on over there.
Okay.
I guess you want to keep the other blocker back.
You're sort of incentivized.
Yeah, I guess you can allow Alan to have Teferi on the battlefield for one extra turn and then attack it with Shalai, and that's a lot safer in terms of trying to protect yourself from another sword hit. But it does mean you'd most likely want to try to Eladamri's Call right now, because you can't do it on Alan's turn as long as Teferi's still in play.
Mm-hmm. But also, look at the lands that are available there for Donegan. 2 copies of Horizon Canopy, so those aren't great. That'd bring him down to 7 if he uses one of those. Or uses both of those, pardon me. But it looks like he's going to do that. So, there's the call. Dylan digging deep through his bag of tricks. We're going to figure out exactly what card that is. He's actually got me stumped. It's not a Ranger cap. We'll find out.
Eternal Witness would be my guess.
I believe you're correct. I believe it was an Eternal Witness. They trick you sometimes because it's different art.
Yeah.
And we're used to the 5th Dawn art.
Of course.
Because we're old.
A classic.
Yeah, it is a classic. Yeah, it's a new... There's new... Ultimate Masters?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. What did he call for?
That looks right.
Yeah.
There it is.
The Witness. Some cards we don't need new art of. How about that?
I know, it's a classic.
How about that? It's an iconic piece. All right, Zach Allen, we're coming back to you. Icefang Coatls join the fray. Quick summary of Zach's battlefield. Snow-covered forest plains island. Horizon Canopy are the lands. Teferi on 1. Icefang Coatl, Noble Hierarch. Sword of Feast and Famine, that is a 3/3 elk now, thanks Oko. Stoneforge Mystic, and a Birds of Paradise. Well, that's a 4/4 because of the Exalted trigger into a 3/4. I believe Dylan Donegan's about to go down to 3. Yes, he is.
Yeah, no point in trying to do anything about Oko.
Mm-hmm.
And the attacks that would take you to do anything about Oko, you would kill Donegan.
Yeah.
So just try to run him down.
Oko, you just kind of ignore now, I think. And look, it's already hard to kill anyway. It's when it starts at 6 loyalty a lot of the time. So you're not going to get very far against that thing. Teferi goes up to 2. Zach plays a Field of Ruin, and we're going to head back over to Donegan, who's at a lowly 3. But he's already reaching for mana as he moves those Horizon Canopies pretty far away from things he wants to tap. Takes a look at the graveyard. Don't forget he does have Eternal Witness in hand, so that's why he's fanning it out a little bit. Vizier of Remedies, 2 copies of Eladamri's Call. Dylan will probably get prompted to make a play here again by our head judge Jared Silva in just a moment.
Yeah, the Eternal Witness gets a little tricky here because of the Teferi. Donegan cannot simply pick up the Eladamri's Call, allow Alan to play a turn, and then cast it. So everything he does, he kind of has to do up front. And the commitment of mana here is not trivial for him to do that.
Oh, there's the Witness. Looks like that's in there. You saw Zach sacrifice his Horizon Canopy, hoping to draw maybe a Spell Queller in that spot. Didn't draw one. So it looks like Vizier of Remedies is headed back to the grip. Okay. This Devoted Devastation deck, pardon me, it's a mouthful, has a lot going on decision-wise. And I mean a lot, especially when you're at 3 and 2 of your lands or Horizon Canopies.
Yeah, and again, Donegan is losing some amount of flexibility in how to navigate this because of the Teferi. Deck does not play a whole lot of instant speed to begin with, but to whatever extent he can't do it at all right now.
No, there's Duskwatch Recruiter. Not the scariest card in the world.
Well, it could get scary kind of fast here. Alan does know that the last card is the Vizier of Remedies, so he is a draw step away from having it all. You'd still have to do it over the course of 2 turns.
Well, sure. If he finds a Devoted Druid, then
Right.
he can actually get somewhere the following turn, yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, to his credit, he already has the Infinite, right? Because he's got Shall I. So he's got something
he's
to
rolled
dump
up.
into,
Yeah, he's got the Infinite rolled up.
Noble Hierarch feeling frisky? What's going on here? Oh, Swapsies. Can't forget about Swapsies. Alright, you get this. And I think I'm going to take your Ice Fang Coldle. Alright, because that has Death Touch. Super cool.
Yeah, it gives Donegan a much better blocker next turn if he decides he doesn't want to, if he's facing down a 4/4 Elk, his battlefield doesn't block that all that effectively. Or we're going into a slightly different direction.
Are we going? Oh, well, I guess. I mean, Zach is at 8. Does he have Batter Skull?
Oh, no. Bo. Stings.
Well, you draw a card every turn, don't you? Sometimes you draw the right one. What a hammer-lamma ding-dong beatdown that is. Batter Skull is going to take care of that Elk token.
And it kind of forces some chump blocks the next turn, too. And Donegan needs all of his pieces to stay in play to be able to threaten anything.
There's an Ice Fang Coldle again there for Zach. And that is going to do it. So Zach Allen's going to win game number 1 here over Dylan Donegan. Bant Snowblade up a game here over Devoted Devastation. Looks like we got some chit-chats here. Perhaps Riki Hayashi, one of our other judges, stepping in. Make sure everything's okay here. May have missed something. Okay, looks like there was a little bit of a misstep with the Path to Exile, but I think everything is still okay. Yeah, he has just received a warning. He pathed an Ice Fang Coldle while Shall I was in play, not a legal target. So you see Riki Hayashi on the case right away, giving Zach a warning for an illegal play. But regardless, Zach does win game number 1 between him and Dylan Donegan.
And the path would have been good there regardless.
Hey,
it wasn't like he had to path the Coil to be able to win that game.
Correct. So we're going to go to Dylan Donegan, who's got 4 Path to Exile, 3 Veil of Summer, 3 Mirror Crusader, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Collector, oof, and Dismember.
Well, I definitely like the Dismembers. I don't know about Path in this matchup. I don't know if Donegan wants to play that sort of game. I guess it's just so good against Spell Queller that, it's probably good enough to play. But I'm not super excited about it. If I had to do anything, though, it would be the creature removal spells. Maybe Collector Roof, too. There's enough equipment floating around. Seems modest, though.
Yeah, I don't love the oof in this matchup, honestly. It's just really, I don't think this is really where it's at its best. I don't think Zach needs that equipment to be able to win, even though he has a Blade deck.
Yeah, you have Oko and they have Oko. Makes it really hard for Collector Roof to line up the right way, because you could have just had your own Oko, and also if they have Oko, then
you just turn your oof off.
Right.
There's also that, yeah. Bant Snowblade sideboard here. 2 copies of On Thin Ice, Veil of Summer, Mystical Dispute, and Rest in Peace. And then Singletons, a Ceremonious Rejection. Damping Sphere, Disdainful Stroke, Winds of Abandon, Detention Sphere, Sword of Fire and Ice, and a Supreme Verdict. A lot of options here for Zach.
Yeah, I like the Supreme Verdict, the Detention Sphere. Honestly, I think Sword of Fire and Ice is probably an upgrade over some of the other equipment in the deck. You start just mowing down Donegan's utility creatures and mana. I don't mind On Thin Ice. Just anything that interacts with the battlefield here, I think will be good for Alan.
Fun little tweet here from Dom Harvey a little bit ago. He said, 2-1 Legacy after getting played like a fiddle by Colin Roundtree. Still happy with that result for a format I didn't have much practice in. Grudge match in Modern versus my boo, Drake Sasser, a little bit later. So you can tell the players, though they are playing for a lot, they're having fun, which is what we love to see here at the Players' Championship. One reason that it's Joe Lissette's favorite tournament of the year. As we get ready to talk about our weekly sale here very quickly, folks, at StarCityGames.com. I think we got some goodies on sale. Probably. Oh, there's a holiday sale. Okay.
That could be anything, including Surgical Extraction, Lightning Bolt, Fiery Islet, Phyrexian Metamorph, Time Warp, Arclight Phoenix, and I assume many more. Use the promo code SCG15 at checkout. Some restrictions might apply, but you can get 15% off all your orders.
All online orders.
With some restrictions.
But all is a lot.
Yeah, it's at odds with some restrictions may apply.
I understand. I see the asterisk. I understand. There's always some restrictions, and they may or may not apply.
Right.
But all. Let's talk about all for a second.
All orders except the orders that it's not.
Yes.
Some restrictions may apply. StarCityGames.com.
I think I would have made the all bigger in the graphic.
And the some restrictions may apply, but smaller.
Even smaller.
Well, yeah.
I think, had I designed the graphic myself. Zach Allen currently up a game right now. Member of Team RIW has had a heck of a year on the SCG Tour, for sure. Bant Snowblade, his weapon of choice right now.
Loves to play control decks. Probably the most straightforward profile of any competitor in this event.
Ooh, gonna fight you on that one. Dilks, I'm gonna fight you.
No, because I think Allen's is the case across all 3 formats.
Okay.
And Dilks is, 1 for sure, but not in all 3.
We know he's playing Amulet in 1, and he's gonna play Dark Depths in another. Now, what he's going to play in Standard is anyone's guess. Giver of Runes is where this game started off here for Dylan Donegan. All right, what are you? You're a Devoted Druid, okay, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different art. It makes so many arts. I got to keep up with this stuff.
Yeah.
It's asking a lot.
I know how you feel.
Do you?
Oh, just being frustrated about things being different, yeah.
Yeah. Here's the Vizier of Remedies. We're looking to get to game... Mana Leak!
Mana Leak!
I know that art anywhere. He is a control player.
I've got the answer for you.
Does he have another Vizier? Oh, Duskwatch Recruiter.
Should have opened up on the Dutchwatch Recruiter.
Oh, Dusty?
Should have baited out the Mana Leak.
Yeah.
How many of those we got in there?
There can't
two.
be. There's 2 Mana Leak. Apparently the perfect number. I hope he sideboarded one out, really, to get you.
No, I think his counterspells are very good here.
I think so, too.
Donegan cannot play at instant speed very well, and he's only got a couple of key pieces.
The old man, you don't put that in your deck by accident. Old Mana Leak, that's for sure.
Mana Leak.
Zach Allen going to pass the turn back. Duskwatch Recruiter is going to transform. I'll give you $1 million if you can name the other side of Duskwatch Recruiter.
4/4.
It's a 3/3.
3/3. Okay. Your creatures cost 1 less.
I want to know the name.
Something Horde.
That's true?
Crowl, I don't know, something with a K.
You were very close.
Okay.
I believe it's Crowlin Horde. Crowlin Howler Horde.
Sure.
I'm gonna get it just to make sure.
Creatures cost 1 less, and if either player plays 2 or more spells, day breaks, flips it back over.
Very well done. Very well done. Spell Queller, give me that. Thank you. A little bit of frustration there for Donegan, I think. His cards keep getting countered, and he's stuck on mana. He's not playing many lands for what it's worth. Only playing 19. All right, Zach Allen's shields are down. Can Dylan take advantage? Let's get the Recruiter up here. Uh-oh. Kralin Horde Howler
Okay.
is its name, and Howling is its game. We could really use a Zero Remedies right now, Dylan. 3 mana. Well, that's a good card. Nope.
Oh,
jeez.
my
Jeez.
goodness.
Counter that. Don't. You play against Zach Allen. Don't.
That's 3 spells.
Don't try to resolve a spell against Zach Allen. It's not going to work. Mercy. Sometimes I forget force negations in the format. That card's messed up.
Yeah, it is.
That's
But
a
it's
messed up
in a
card.
good way, right?
No, it's the correct way to do a free counter spell, I think.
It's defending yourself against stuff that's harder to interact with.
Yeah.
That's the good way.
You're not using it to push through your cards. There's Noble Hierarch. Oh, he's leaving mana up again?
I don't know about a post-combat Noble Hierarch there. I'm not one to judge.
It's a little loose. I think it's a little loose.
I would have,
It's all right.
all other things being equal.
It's a little loose. All right, Oko's here. Matt turned my Astrolabe into a 3/3. He's gotten him so good like 3 times already. One minor misstep. Nobody's perfect. All right, time to transform back to Duskwatch Recruiter. I think Donegan thought he was going to have this one pretty easy. With that turn 1 Giver, turn 2 Devoted Druid, turn 3 Vizier, and Duskwatch Recruiter. But no.
Yep. Hand's about as good as you could ask for. But that's dastardly mana leak.
Mm-hmm. You gotta remember, right now, Zach Allen's shields are down. Let's see what this is. Noble Hierarch. Okay. Add a little mana. Another Noble Hierarch. Okay. Beatdowns with an Exalted Trigger. Attack your Oko. Of course, it's not dead. It never dies. It's got 8 million loyalty.
Yeah. It's infrequent
Yeah.
to kill it in combat.
All right. Back to Zach. Zach's going to sacrifice a fetch. Remember, winner of this match, lock for day 2. Still have some matches to be played today, but a lock for day number 2 of competition. Loser, you got some work to do to make it into day number 2 of competition. They'll be in our play to stay area of our tournament, while the winner goes on to our battle for buys. Get a buy into day number 2 of competition. Make life easy. What is this? That Winds of Abandon?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. No, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. Good night. Zach Allen going to win this game and match over Dylan Donegan 2-0. And you can see Dylan, that frustrated look on his face. He thought